So Shandon is leaving tomorrow. From UCal.
Okay.
But no SSB functioning properly is not that he thinks anyway. A very good afternoon, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286. Patricia and David, and it is quite cloudy now here at Gulf Harbour after a mostly dry day today. That was this morning. Let me give you the updated version of what the temperature is. It is 20 degrees now, about 6 knots of south-southwest wind, 1,008 on the bar, dropping, and about 80% cloud cover as mentioned. It's, not too bad, I suppose, but nothing to write home about. Certainly not reading the temperatures that folk like Y2K have got outside, 29.5 in the water, 28.8 outside. Goodness gracious me. Don't think if I went straight to that now I'd feel very comfortable. Anyway, a couple of boats on the go. We've got Tamariki to talk to shortly. Just got the report in from Y2K. We have Shandon leaving New Caledonia tomorrow to return home. And Sperari, who we haven't heard from, but hopefully who's got our emails, because there's quite a bit of weather coming to Christmas Island. Boy, it's very hard for me to get that word, and I have to keep looking it up. Kuritimati. Ronton is the township, though, not the whole atoll, which is the largest in the world. At least I remember that.
But that's where they have their
yes, that's where they
station.
have their station. Okay, no, I don't think they do. I think that weather station is up the top end. I think you are not correct on that one. Anyway, we'll argue about that later, and we'll go to Tamariki. Tamariki, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour Radio. This is Tamariki, over.
Yeah, good copy on you again tonight, Peter. Not quite as strong as last night, but it's pretty good. And it would appear, based on your pedestrian speed, that you've hit the headwinds. Go ahead, over.
Good copy on you, Patricia. Just bumping here. Tonight we're 29, 50 south, 953 east. Speed over the ground 4.5 course, 185 true. Barometer is 1004. Wind 15 to 20 from the southwest. Seas rough. 12 to 3 meters southwest. We're both just very slowly. The problem is we've only got 2 days of gin left, so I'm not quite sure what's going to happen after that.
Oh, well, I'm sure you'll cope. 2950-17953 east. Motoring 4.5 knots on a course of 185 with 15 to 20. I put 50. 15 to 20 knots from the southwest. Sea rough 2.5 to 3 meters southwest. Boy, you'll be able to commiserate with Aka and the mob coming down from Fiji. Doesn't sound very pleasant, but you are making progress. That's all that we can expect at the moment. I'll just see what David has to comment.
Yeah, good evening. I hope you can hear the scratchy voice I still have here. But I've been looking at the currents. We were talking about currents the other day, or yesterday, whatever it was. And quite interesting I'm going to have to rephrase that because you're not going to like it. At your position, according to the data that I've gotten late this afternoon, we've got a current of 1.5 knots, 1.5 knots coming out of the southwest going northeast. So not only do you have, unfortunately, winds out of the southwest, but you've got a current that's fairly brisk, actually. However, as you get a little bit further south, you get down to probably a good 30 point something. Anyway, that current tends to go away for the most part. It hardly does anything at all. What actually it does is it goes north for a little bit, and then it splits. It goes west, and then it goes northwest, and it goes northeast. But we'll have to see, because this is just it is so variable, this current, from what I could see. Looking at Monday, yeah, there's not much change. It looks more like an easterly going current. So in other words, coming out of the west, about 1.3 knots according to the model, 1.3 knots. So that at least is not going to be on the nose for you. So that's probably a bit of a help. And as you do get further south, well below 30, you may get a lift. There may be some current that's coming from the north going south, but we'll see if that happens. So anyway, as far as I want to look is tomorrow, because I'm sure it will change. So there you go. Over.
Thank you, David. We can see the weather out here, and it's not helping to go south, but we can only use what we can.
Yep, indeed. And David pulled up today a most amazing picture of the confused different currents in the area where you, Arca, and various others are. And I've just realised, I think I've only got your sale mail address, but when you get settled, just send me your land address. And in fact, Arca, if you're listening, I need your address too. It is the most amazing picture. Tell you what, if you blew it up and put a frame around it, it would win an award. Modern art competition. But yeah, it is pretty interesting. And yeah, we were sort of looking at why it's all happening from things that are a long way away. But yes, it was a very interesting picture. All right, Peter, we'll leave you to rough it out tonight and check in with you again tomorrow. We've got Y2K has sent in a report. They are at 1518 south and 17955 west, doing a jiggling to and fro the old date line. Hope it's not too much of a climb to go up and over. 4.6 boat speed and 032 course at the moment, with a bar of 1002.5. So yeah, a bit of a slow going. Y2K, you on frequency max, over. Oh, I know that I'm weak with you because you've got so much electronic stuff operating in Y2K. There's not much room for a normal old single sideband wave pattern like my voice, but I have got good copy on you, so go ahead. Over. Oh, goodness gracious me. Could you just say that again? Something broke and I didn't quite work out what it was. Over.
I don't know what is wrong, but at some point it works perfectly. Then we switch off the engine to save, and then when the wind disappears, we switch on the engine again and the alternator doesn't work. Over.
Did you understand that?
No.
No, we're struggling to work out what's going on there, but I did get that you have got southeast 9 at the moment, southeast 9, and that's not a great deal of wind to drive Y2K, but it sounds pretty peaceful, certainly not the rough seas that they've got coming to New Zealand.
Something break.
So, yeah, just try and explain what the problem is. What is the problem? We're not quite catching it. Max, go ahead again. Over.
I don't understand the question. Say it again, please.
Yeah, you have a problem. You have a problem, and we don't know what it is. Over. Oh, good on you, Matt. Go ahead. Just stand by, Max.
Yeah, his alternator quit working, so he's solar charging batteries and the options to run a generator. But he shut down the camera and then the overnight and let's start up on the alternator, okay?
Oh, roger that. Boy, only one alternator on Y2K. That is a surprise. Okay, got that. So he has to charge with the generator. I hope they've got fuel sufficient for that. All right, got it. Thank you for that. Well, it's good that you're useful sitting there. We'll talk to you in a minute to see what your latest ideas are for leaving. All right, got it, Max. Your alternator not working. That is a bit of a serious issue. But you do have the generator, so that won't be too much of a problem, hopefully. Okay, I presume all is well on board, and hi to Ali. Over. Yeah, he's not copying us too well, so we'll leave it at that and clear with Y2K.
Probably generator on.
You might have the generator on, yes. That would certainly make some noise. Okay, let's go to Sperari, Gulf Harbour.
Yes, good evening. I got a very, very, very weak copy on you this evening.
Yeah, I'm just checking things, and it should be not too bad, but propagation has still been affected by this geomagnetic storm up at the sun level. So I have copy on you, Sergio. Do you have David's emails? Over.
Roger. We're leaving in the morning. Departing in the morning.
Roger that. Sperari is leaving in the morning ahead of the expected strong northerly swell coming in that Ed has warned us about. So that's good. But what is the plan direction-wise? Over.
What's the plan? Well, the plan is to do whatever we can. So we're going to head east as much as we can early. And after that, we adjust according to the wind prediction.
Okay, so you'll head east as much as you can, and then play it by ear, so to speak, or by the hairs on the back of your neck to see when you can get up. But I think the idea was to try and even go south for a while, is with the prime job of getting east. So that's the main criteria on board Sperari for setting yourself up for a decent run to Hawaii. Yeah, it's very interesting, those two highs that are really causing some strife. Just in case others are interested, I'm going to pass the microphone to David.
All kinds of weather up in the North Pacific, that's for sure. We've got a very, very large high. It's about a 1028, and that's just to the northwest of Hawaii. Then we've got another high, which is the normal one, which is just to the west of Oregon, and that is very, very strong. That's a 1035, maybe 1036. Between the two is a low, is a depression. And mixing all that up, that is one reason they're generating some pretty good sized waves. In addition to that, there is a tropical depression that they're calling it 20E, 20 echo, 20 echo, winds 30 knots gusting 40. And that is located approximately 12 north and about 123 or so west, 123 west. And that probably is going to be going west or west-northwest, but they're not giving a direction on it. And the intertropical convergence zone is running about 8 north. So go west, go east, right around 8 north. So that's the story. And we do have that possibility that there are going to be some pretty good waves coming in from all the activity that's around Hawaii, coming down to Christmas Island where you are, maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. So it's good that you're getting out. That may not happen, those waves, but as Ed says, it comes very quickly when it comes. So anyway, that's the story there. Hope you can hear my voice. Over.
Roger, Roger, David. Thank you very good for the good synopsis. We'll keep in touch and give you an update on operations and we're on the way. Thank you.
Roger that, no problem. And we have you on AIS anyway. So it's interesting looking at the boats coming towards New Zealand. I just meant to mention that to Peter and Mid-John Tamariki because they are under the influence of that subtropical low that came our way last weekend. It's very slow. It's just moved to basically directly underneath Sperari, actually, sort of. But I thought your winds might have been more west-southwest because you are at the top of that low, whereas the boats that are coming down from the Fiji area, the Sea Rose, Calamari, Arca folk, are under a completely different set of circumstances, and I suspect that they will report southerlies. But anyway, we'll see if Arca is on frequency. Arca, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ed. So go ahead with your report. We'll see whether I'm right. Over.
Okay. Yeah, 7 o'clock this morning, we just started being dashed around, so we only do for 7 hours. And it's dropped off about 5 knots or 7 knots anyway. It's still out of 190 to 100 true in the low 20s. A lot of the swells that we had yesterday seems to have gone away, so it's not quite so bouncy. We are now at 2923 south, 17457 east, steering 150 true at 4.7 knots to still keep it down from slamming over.
Yeah, indeed. And I forgot to mention that other boat is still at Cascade Cove. So you hove to for about 7 hours, and the wind is indeed out of the south, 190 to 200 in the low 20s now. The big swell has dropped a bit. That's good. 2923 south is your current position, 17457 east. And I'm just looking at 174. You're quite close to Sea Rose, aren't you? With a course of 150 true at 4.7. So, yeah, I'll see if David's got any light at the end of the tunnel. And by the way, I will send this amazing picture of the different currents to you, so you'll have to shoot an email to us with your land address when you've got a moment. Here's David.
Well, speaking of current, looking tomorrow at about lunchtime, coming out of the south, pretty much out of the south, going to more or less the northwest, it looks like to me. Not much, 0.6 knots. So a lot better than what Peter is experiencing over there to your east. So that's the story on that. Fortunately, not too much in the way of current. Over.
Whatever that current was we had was pushing into that one odd swell that seems to have disappeared. So some of the bump has gone away. Over.
That's good.
Yeah, and I don't have the ability to go back too far in time to look at what you experienced on this chart. But from what I can see, moving you a little bit north and so forth, I'm looking at very, very early Saturday, I can see there was a very strong southerly current. And that's probably what was giving you some grief. But it's certainly not the case now. So let's hope that it stays not the case as you continue toward New Zealand. Over.
Roger, thank you for that. Yeah, well, it looks like we're possibly going to cross 30 tonight, so that's a big milestone. Over.
Yes. I always feel like I'm almost home.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take a look here and see what we're dealing with in terms of winds. I'm sure you get it too, but here's the chief in the meantime.
Yeah, I was just chuckling because after you get past 30, you sort of feel as if you're on the home straight, don't you? I know it's still quite a ways to go, and there's some interesting currents and things to deal with, but it does feel as if you are smelling the barn door, or whatever the expression is when you are at sea. So, yeah, well, the signal from you is really, really good tonight, Ed, so no problems there. I'll just put it back to David.
Okay, looking tomorrow at we'll take a look at around lunchtime, I suppose, probably the best thing to do. Winds look like southwest about 15 knots and gusts probably in the neighborhood of 20. So yeah, we'll just say 15 to 20 for tomorrow about lunch, and that's out of the southwest. So not too bad. Not great either, I suppose, but that's what it looks like. Over.
We climb a little bit in towards Opua, rather than just straight down towards the Southern Ocean. Over.
I know. I'm looking at Monday, and the winds do slack off considerably on Monday, and I don't know where you'll be at that point, but say you're down there at around 30, well, let's just take a stab. Say you're down at about 33 on Monday at about lunch. The winds are still southwest, but only about 10 knots. Gusts maybe up to about 15. So a lot less wind than what you've got now. So not a great direction, I'm afraid, but at least there's less of it, it looks like. Over.
Yeah, a little easier to sail anyway in that kind of wind. So, thank you for that. And I will. Can you give me your email and I can send? No, never mind. When I get in, I'll send you my email. Over.
Yeah, roger that. It's GH Radio, all run together. GH Radio at extra.co.nz. Yeah, it will give you a laugh if nothing else. And by then, you after a couple. In the bar, you will have forgotten how uncomfortable the last few days has been. All right, we will clear with Arca. I just want to give Shandon a call because they're having radio problems to see if I can hear anything. So if you could also listen, everybody. Shandon, Gulf Harbour Radio. No, nothing heard there. And I know Rubicon is listening on the side. Have you got a estimated day of departure, Rubicon, Gulf Harbour Radio, listening?
Yeah, Gulf Harbour, this is Rubicon, and we departed this afternoon. We jumped the dock lines at noon, and out the channel was about 3:30, I think it was. So I'll give you a position, okay?
I'm still recovering from the shock. I'm glad I'm sitting down. Go ahead.
Okay, Smarty Pants, Elizabeth said that. Okay, Rubicon is 18 degrees 04 south, 177 degrees 05 east. We are traveling at our course is about 210 true, doing about 5.5 knots under sail. The wind is out of the southeast, and it is 15, 18 knots. There's a little bit of swell, a little bump, but not bad. Clear skies, sunshine, okay?
Well, that's a very nice day to leave. I hope we can do the same for when you arrive in New Zealand. 1804 south, 17705 east. Rubicon has left this afternoon. From Fiji, 210 true course at 5.5 knots, sailing nicely in southeast 15 to 18 with a little bit of a swell. And David, of course, wants to know the ETA, knowing that it is a definite ETA. Over.
Yeah, well, 2 days from now would be great for us. I think that's what December 5th or 4th or 5th, something like that.
What did you say? I didn't. We tried to work out what you just said, but I'm sure you'll come up with a day or a date. Over.
Yeah, roger that. Okay.
We'll ask you tomorrow night. We'll leave you to mull over that one because he will, of course, be looking at what happens between now and then, and particularly the then. All right. Have a good trip, you two. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. All right. Boy, this is the islands are definitely emptying out, and quite rightly too, because this is probably not a season to be hanging around places like Fiji, Vanuatu, Tonga and the like. So is there anybody else wanting to check into Gulf Harbour Radio? No, all peaceful and quiet. That's lovely. We will talk to you again tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. I wish we could smooth things out, but there you go. We'll just have to put up with what you get, don't you, at this late stage of the year. Cheers, everybody. Gulf Harbour Radio is clear. If you want the frequency, it's all yours.
Thank you both.
What was that?
Thank you both.
White 2K, Rubicon, how copy?